Welcome back to another Bolt tutorial. In this video, we're going to cover empty states, what they are and how you can adapt them so that you can improve the user experience of your app. So firstly, what are empty states? They're effectively what the customer sees before any data has been entered into your database. In this CRM example, we can see no customers have yet been entered and it's showing no customers. This is our empty state. Similarly, on the jobs page, there are no jobs yet, and on the invoice page, no invoices yet. In almost all circumstances, when a user signs up for your product, they'll see a lot of empty states because they haven't provided any data to your platform just yet. And that's why this is such an important process. Being a new user, they should be guided through their first experience. Let's now go about filling our first empty state on the customers page. Here's our prompt. On the customers page, let's improve the empty state. Instead of just saying no customers yet, add a button to add a customer similar to the one on the top right. Also, we should add an SVG here too, to indicate no customers have been added. Create 5 variations of an animated SVG so that I can choose the best one. Use different styles when creating each of these. Let's plan it out and build. Now it's asking us, do we want to see all 5 variations at once? We've said yes. 2, should the illustration and animations loop continuously or just play once? I've said just play once, but if we click it, it should replay. And we've confirmed the illustration size to be about 160 pixels. Again, that goes to show the benefit of using plan mode. It's asking us clarifying questions we may not have considered beforehand. We'll turn it off plan mode and let's build. The agent's finished working and these are the 5 animated SVGs it's created. Let's go through them one by one. So variation 1, if we click it, it loads in what looks like an identity card. Variation 2 loads in what looks like avatars. Variation 3, a magnifying glass. 4 loads in an empty table. And 5 has a friendly looking clipboard. Personally, I like variation 4 the best. I think it looks great, but there's a few tweaks we can make to it as well. So let's prompt this. Here's our prompt. Great, I like variation 4 the most. Let's go with this. Make the whole thing larger and a little more detailed. Remove all the others. Please modify the SVG so that the circular plus icon is not filled and is more subtle. Also, remove the element that looks like a cursor and build. The prompt's complete and let's check it out. We'll reload the page, go to customers, and there we go. Much better than it was before. If we click add customers up here, it opens the modal and same as down here, it works as well. Let's now generate an empty state for the jobs page. To do this, we're going to take a slightly different approach and we're going to test out image generation. To enable image generation, go to settings, go to add-on features, and make sure image generation is toggled on. Here's our prompt. Now create an empty state for the jobs page. It should use the same structure as the customers page empty state. However, instead of generating an SVG, let's generate an image to indicate that no jobs have been added yet. Create a detailed icon of a 3D briefcase which is open and empty. Use the same blues from this page with highlights of orange. The background color of the image should be the same background color as the parent component. Let's plan it out and build. The plan's complete. We'll answer the clarifying questions, turn off plan mode and build. It's done a really good job generating an image. Now, let's say there's a specific aesthetic that you really like. Another way you can approach this is by adding the image into the prompt box. Here's an example briefcase that I found and I quite like the aesthetic of. So we've pasted that in here. And here's our prompt. Please modify the open briefcase image on the jobs page to use the same aesthetic as the image that I've attached in this prompt. The briefcase should be open and empty. And there we go, the prompt's complete. You can see it's now using that same clay aesthetic that we attached in this image. However, it's using the colors that we've already predefined in our page and our design system. Now, I'd highly suggest when you are doing something like this to use a consistent aesthetic throughout all of your empty states. If you go with a complex animated SVG like this, use this in other places too. Alternatively, if you go with a generated image, use this same aesthetic for all of the empty states. The final thing I'd like to point out is sometimes you can use modals to indicate processes that the user can follow. For example, on the jobs page, if a user has not created a customer, they shouldn't be able to create a job. So when I click new job, we have a modal that says jobs are tied to a customer. Add a customer first from the customers page and then come back to create a job. We may want to include a link to the customer page here and perhaps the same animated SVG or an image in here too. So there we go. In this video, you've learned what empty states are and how you can use them to keep your customer engaged with your product. It shows them that you have an attention to detail and can be very useful when it comes to guiding your users through how to use your product. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and good luck implementing buttons and images in your empty states.